as I was putting the directional signs up this morning, one of our fire marshals noticed what I was doing, and he said, "Oh, terrifying tools." And so we're hoping that these will not be terrifying. We've picked things that we think are easy. They're either free or they don't cost an arm and a leg, and so they're accessible for almost all businesses. And they're all web-based, and the reason that we're focusing on web-based tools is because that's where the best things are happening right now, and there are many advantages to using tools that are based in the cloud. So Eric and I are going to go back and forth talking about a few of those advantages. Some of these may be well known to you, but we thought we'd just review some of the reasons that these tools are so great. So first of all, they're really flexible. If you have a business need, maybe something that hasn't cropped up before, or perhaps you have a new project and you need a specialist that you don't have working for you right now, there are cloud-based tools that can help you with that. Maybe your accounting is like becoming a real drag and you'd love to have some help with that. There are tools that can help you with that. But they allow you to be very flexible and really help you organize your business.
And does everybody know what the cloud is? I'm assuming everybody does, kind of. Or, well, it's basically where your data lives and where all the processing power occurs is not on your computer, it's somewhere else. So, and that's why we're talking about the benefits. So that, in general, it's that you're using your computer, you're using your phone to access these great things, but they don't necessarily live directly on your computer or your phone. They live on a protected server or protected computer somewhere else. So basically that's what it is. So the next thing which is great about cloud-based tools is disaster recovery. So the great thing about using the cloud is your data, your information is backed up in multiple locations, more than likely, throughout the world. And if something happens with your computer, if you had water damage, whatever it might be, you don't have to worry because your data is in multiple locations throughout the world, and you can easily get back to where you are by using them.
Yeah, thanks for explaining that, Eric. I kind of jumped ahead, so I'm glad you pulled back a bit. These cloud-based tools really are game-changing tools, and they actually give you a lot more opportunity in the world of business than was available previously. So we hope that you'll find some things in here that you can apply almost immediately. Eric mentioned the disaster recovery, so if some cataclysmic thing happens with your data or your work, these tools will secure against that. Also, you don't have to worry about backing up your software. You know how I'm guilty of this. I forget to do that. But if you are using a cloud-based tool, that happens automatically. There was a study in the UK a couple of years ago that estimates that businesses that don't use cloud tools spend about 18 hours a month backing up their work. So to have that much time saved is really an advantage.
And the next one, according to the slide, is they're CapEx free, which actually that stands for capital expenditure free. So it just means most of these tools you don't have to put out a ton of money at the beginning to gain access to them. They're more than likely ones that you just pay a small fee month to month. So maybe in the long term they're probably still good deals, but definitely in the short term they're a really good way to go, especially if you're not familiar with the tool and you're not sure if it's going to work out for you. You can try it for a real minimal amount.
So another advantage that you get with using cloud-based tools are a lot of them let you share work with other people involved in your business, whether they're employees or suppliers or maybe contractors. And so you can collaborate, for example, on a single project or even a single document all at the same time. And that's a really nice thing. Certainly that saves potentially money for transportation costs, communication costs, and it is a way to kind of increase the amount of knowledge that gets shared across your company if, so everybody kind of is on the same page. You don't have to keep track of which version of a document is the current one. So back in the day, you had to email maybe a single document around to a team, and maybe somebody started working, I've done this before, on an old document, and it's like, oh shoot, there's a newer one out there. So this really simplifies all that, and it lets, it allows access to a whole group of people to work at the same time.
That's still happening.
Is it? It's painful, isn't it?
Yeah, it is painful. Very.
Yeah, I speak from experience on that one. Tony?
One cloud thing that I have, I really love, so I'll just share that.
Good.
Everybody's heard of Carbonite.
Yeah.
Probably, but we use that for our business, and you just pay a fairly small amount per year, and then you don't ever have to worry about it. You always see the little dots next to all of your files and all of your folders, meetings, all that stuff. So that's kind of nice, because when you start getting a lot of people in your database, then you freak out if something happens or lightning hits or your computer starts to crash, because it's all up there in the cloud. So, but one question I have is that I use Outlook, and I know that there are better and different things, and I need to talk to Eric a lot about this, but I'm just curious as to what good contact database systems and / calendars, reminders, and all of that's cloud-based, because I don't think Outlook is.
Well, oh, go ahead, Eric.
That'll segue nicely into our next section. So
Thank you, Tony.
we'll talk about that in just a few minutes, but I think we have some good solutions, or some ones to at least check out for you.
Yes, Jim?
You mentioned you could work, and multiple people could be working on the same one there. I was just over to Bemis yesterday, and we looked at OneDrive.
Oh, yes, Microsoft.
And we were both looking at the same document at the same time, both of us typing on the same document at the same time, and what we could see what the other one was typing. And apparently lots of people could be in there. He said it gets a little confusing after people in there, but it did work.
That's great. That's great. So, yeah. Good.
So the next one is just allowing you to work from everywhere. So the majority of the apps we'll show you today, applications, you can access via your phone, a laptop, your computer, and so you don't have to cart around your laptop. If you borrow somebody else's computer or a library computer, you can get access to all these real easily.
You can also control the document. This goes back to that idea that you can be comfortable that you're working on the latest version of a document. Everything is kept in one central location, so you don't have, everybody knows where to go to find the project or the work. And that simplifies things. You don't have to say, well, now who has that document, or who's got the project specs, or whatever it might be. Everybody knows there's one place to go, and it's all held there. And that can save some time. And if you save time, then you're saving money, so that's a good thing.
And Rika, did I skip one? Did
Maybe I did.
We were going to do a wrap back and forth, but so I'll just talk about the
Okay,
next one
thank
real
you.
quick. The security issue. So a lot of people are concerned about when they hear about the cloud and security issues. I would guess, and I think a lot of people have shown that your data maybe sitting at home or in your office, wherever it might be, is probably a lot less secure than having the people that manage these services are. These are all like top-notch companies that have people 24/7 dealing with all day your security. So we'll probably talk about that a little bit more as well. Oh yeah, well, it's a good point, but
Yeah, that's true. But you know, hopefully you won't have your customer lists and that kind of thing. That data.
yeah, we won't talk about
Of
the
that.
Target cloud service.
One of the advantages that you get with these cloud-based services is a leveling of the competitive playing field, because you get access through these services, many of which are free, to the same tools that are being used by companies, you know, many times bigger than you are. And so they're really well designed, they're well thought through, they're kind of state of the art, have state of the art functionality. And as a smaller business, one of the things that's kind of interesting when you go to cloud-based tools is that you actually might have a bit of an advantage over a big company because you're more nimble, but now you've got the same access to business operating tools that they do. So that has started to change things and allows businesses to think about new ways and new areas, and opens up new opportunities that weren't available before.
And the last one's environmentally friendly, which for smaller businesses may not be such a high component. But for larger companies that might have lots of computers, by being able to have your processing power be done somewhere else where that computer already exists, can help minimize the cost of electricity and that kind of thing.
Yeah, you may know that even with like your television set, it's a huge energy hog, so a passive energy hog. So just having it plugged in, it's using a lot of electricity, and when you have a lot of hardware, the same thing is happening, of course. And there's one study that shows that businesses that go to these cloud-based tools can save about 90% on their energy costs. So it can be a big advantage. As Eric said, it scales up, so the more hardware you are using, the bigger the savings. But there is a savings there.
Great. So I'm going to talk about some of the productivity tools that we've highlighted. And some of you probably have seen these before, or maybe even using them, so hopefully it doesn't get hopefully we'll have some good stuff for you still. But the first one is Google Apps for Businesses, and this is something the City of Littleton actually went to. So in the past we were using things like Outlook and other pieces of software to do our work. We've switched over to Google Apps for Businesses, which allows you to kind of package up and bundle a lot of really great services. It includes being able to move your email from even your company email from Outlook, whatever, to a Google managed system. So you can get your email anywhere. You can have joint calendaring, which for a lot of you could be really helpful, I think. So you can share your calendar and see what other people have on their calendar, add appointments to their calendars. It's really that's a really great feature. It even has word processors and spreadsheets. So if you want to forego the cost of buying the latest word processing software, you can use Google Docs to do that. All of this is really inexpensive. on a per monthly fee. So we have just a short video to kind of further describe what it does and go over a few more of the features.
Google Apps is a suite of web-based tools that includes Gmail for Business, Google Calendar, Google Docs, and Google Sites, as well as many other apps that help you run your business more productively and efficiently. No matter where you are, your important work information and files will always be at your fingertips. Access your business email, calendar, docs, and more from any web-enabled device, including your PC, mobile phone, and tablet. Gone are the days of expensive hardware, downloads, and costly upgrades. You access your Google Apps straight from the web, and your business tools are always up to date with the newest features. Gmail gives you professional email, customized just for your company. Each employee gets an email address at yourcompany.com, so your outbound messages look more professional and you can build an identity with customers. Gmail comes with great features to help you save time and stay organized. You can search for emails with Google-powered search. You can also star and sort important messages with labels, which are like folders, to help keep track of the messages that matter. Gmail's industry-leading spam filtering helps your inbox stay clean and relevant. And with 25 gigabytes of email storage per person, you'll never have to worry about deleting an email. After all this, Gmail is more than just email. Instant message, voice chat, and video chat even make phone calls straight from Gmail. So in one place, you have everything you need to communicate and work together. Google Calendar saves you time and energy with a calendaring solution that is fast, intuitive, and easy to use. Scheduling a meeting with more than a few people can often be difficult. With Google Calendar, you can overlay and view your colleagues' calendars to quickly find a time that works for everyone. You and your teammates can also create group calendars, so you can each share, edit, and add events to the same calendar and always be on the same page. Feel free to make events private, share with individuals and groups, or even share your calendar publicly so your business can easily communicate with customers and external groups. Google Docs brings you online documents, spreadsheets, presentations, and web forms. You can easily create, upload, and edit your online docs, and sharing is easy. Quickly share with individuals, teams, or even people outside your business. It's easy to change and manage privacy settings whenever you'd like. With real-time collaboration, you and your colleagues can work together on the same document at the same time and actually see changes being made as they happen. Comment and discuss on the right-hand side of the document as if you were in the same room as your colleagues. This also means you never have to worry about having multiple versions of the same document floating around. Everyone accesses the most updated version all the time, and older versions are kept on record in a revision history. You can also use Google Docs to upload and store other file formats. It's like your personal filing cabinet. And you can use it to store pictures, PDFs, even videos you can play straight from Docs. Google Sites allows you to easily build internal websites to organize and share your business information. Centralize important documents, calendars, and other resources on a company intranet, or keep teams organized on a project site with team resources, contact information, and more. Creating a site doesn't require any knowledge of coding or HTML. It's as easy as editing a document. Gmail, Calendar, Docs, and Sites make up the core of the Google Apps Suite and cost just $5 per user per month. That's $5 for a whole lot of productivity. See for yourself. Sign up for a free 30-day trial and start using Google Apps for Business today.
All right. Does anyone already use Google Apps, or does anyone use Google for their email at all?
Yeah, I use Google.
Okay, cool. There's one, it's not in the show, but there's a new tool to me called Boomerang you might want to check out, which is it fits in with your Google email, and as you send out a Gmail or your company email, it will help you track that email, and if you don't get a response back within the certain amount of time you've told Boomerang, Boomerang will send you back a message saying this person has yet to reply to you. So just kind of a handy little reminder feature for you. And you can also schedule emails to go out. So if you didn't want to send this email out today but need to send it out 2 days from now, you could use the little Boomerang feature free to send it out when you want it to go out. So just kind of a... Yes, we have to have the Boomerang app that lives within Gmail. It would be in the kind of Chrome extensions. So if you use Google Chrome.
But it's not just for businesses, it's if you use regular Google?
Yeah, it is. It's really kind of handy little thing. So.
send drip emails or to automatically say, so use 25 people once a month and send something to?
Possibly. I'm not sure about that part.
Somebody mentioned MailChimp or EmailChimp or something like that. Are you familiar with that? Is it similar to that?
Yeah, we'll in fact be talking about that shortly. You're hitting all the questions.
You sure you didn't get our PowerPoint?
So the next one we'll talk about is a company called Zoho, and I don't know how many of you have heard of Zoho, but Zoho is really interesting in that it's a company that makes all kinds of just incredible business applications that are all cloud-based, and I'm just going to go over just highlight a couple of those. So they have, and all of this is practically free for personal use or like one-person use. Most of these tools are no charge. And then to get a fancier version of it is really minimal in cost. So they have accounting, invoicing, customer relations management, project management, recruiting. I'll just click over to their site, and it might be hard to see the screen, but
For one user, it's all of those are free. And if
Yeah.
you need to upgrade, it's not expensive.
right. And we'll be talking a little further about other accounting ones too, but yeah, so and you do have to pay a bit if you want a bit more fancy version of these, but the free versions are pretty robust themselves. So like I said, invoicing, you can use it to help recruiting. What else?
Wasn't there one for, you can actually, there's a one to help you build applications. So if you wanted to create a mobile app for your customers, for example, there's one that Zoho does that.
Yeah, you might check them out just because they have so many fun little tools that you can use.
Is the invoicing under accounting?
Let's see, I think they might be even separate.
Oh, there it is, I see it.
Yeah, they have books, which is the more the accounting piece, and then invoicing, which is more the invoicing piece. So a pretty slick service and really well thought of is Zoho, which is one probably no one's or few have ever really heard of, but pretty amazing what they provide. So the next one, Microsoft, of course, Office. Everybody's probably used Office in the past. Well, they have Office 365, which is kind of a hybrid between a cloud-based version and your desktop version of software. So instead of buying the whole thing at once, you can pay monthly and then access all these tools both on your computer as well as on mobile devices. So you can have a Word version on your iPhone or Excel or whatever it might be. And it helps with collaboration, all those types of things, where you can share a document so you don't have 8 versions running around, just have one version. So they definitely have a nice service as well. And then kind of the Swiss Army knife of web apps, it seems, as Evernote. Does everybody know what Evernote is? Everybody heard of Evernote? Okay.
Oh,
Cool.
good.
Well, it's a pretty neat little piece of software because Evernote is made for your cell phone, for your computer, for your laptop, even, well, I have a smartwatch I have to show off. They even have an app for your watch. And what it allows you to do is say, their whole motto is to save everything. So as you get emails or as you have thoughts, you can just save it to Evernote. And it's always in this like secure little place for you. You can even like take a picture with your phone and save it to Evernote of a sign or of a document. And Evernote will save it there for you, and it also index every single word on that photo for you. So if you were looking for, if you were going there and doing a search for some word that occurred on that photo, it would find that photo for you.
So if I
Yeah.
can jump in, thinking about the curriculum that your company develops, there's probably a lot of research that goes into doing that. And so I think Evernote could be really handy for you, because you can create like topic notebooks or project notebooks, and so everything related to a particular project or a curriculum could go into this one place. And as Eric said, it doesn't really matter whether it's a video or a photo or a web page, it can all go in there.
I wasn't aware of the indexing. I have it on my phone. I use
Oh.
it for personal.
Oh, cool.
But I didn't know the indexing.
Yeah, it's
I just sort it myself,
yeah, the search feature is really amazing what it does. Yeah.
Does it store things for you automatically, or do you have to decide to store everything? I mean, everything kind of sounds like it just keeps doing it automatically.
Yeah. Basically, you tell what you want. You tell what you want it to store. But it's really easy. Like for bookmarking websites, similar to what Rekha talked about. If you find a site that, oh yeah, I need to go back and read that, you just basically hit one button, and it gets put in there for later on, and then you can sort things. And
So do you talk to it to make notes too, or not?
you can do voice notes as well. So if
I
you
don't even handwrite notes if you're on your phone.
yeah, if you have your phone, you just hit one button and talk to it, and it'll save that voice note for you. And unlimited storage, so it doesn't matter how much stuff you give it. They have a really robust free version. The paid version gets you a little bit more. And where you end up having to pay sometimes is how much data you upload to Evernote. So if you have really big files, you're going to eat up kind of your monthly allotment a lot faster than if they're smaller ones. But it's I'm probably not doing it justice, all the cool things it can do.
So is it an app or is it a website?
It's both. So it's a phone app, it's an application that can be on your computer, it's a website, it's basically everywhere. So yeah, and they're,
About the app, I'm sorry, go ahead.
yeah, I was just going to say, I'm trying to remember, I think they're up to like 200 million users of Evernote. So it's amazing how it's grown, and it's really well known.
It's really fast. It's
Yeah.
instantaneously. So you can do it on your phone and then be at your desk like a minute later, and it's
Yeah.
synced up already. So it's all cloud-based.
Yeah. Oh, I thought I'd tell a little story.
That
Oh,
was part
Jen.
of my issue yesterday was the syncing, and I guess because I have Microsoft tablet now, so they have their own apps that you get from their app stores, not the Google Play or anything like that. So I downloaded the Evernote app for my tablet. Now there's also Evernote.com, and you could go in and view it from the browser, but I messed up my account or something, and I didn't know my password. I was having such a heck of a time. But the problem was, I specifically left myself a note before I left the office on Monday for something that I needed to do because I was out the last 2 days. And I wrote June 17th to-dos, and when I went to open my app, it wasn't there.
No.
And the app doesn't have the search bar.
Mm.
This is just a Microsoft app now. So it's like a scaled down version. So I just wanted to mention, you gotta kind of watch which version you're using. Now, the regular one that's on my computer at work has everything, and I notice if I go to the Evernote.com and I sign in, that's the same. But this app, I don't know what it's doing or how that connects, or maybe you have to do some sort of manual sync. I don't know, but it's just something to watch out for if you have one of those
Yeah.
tablet apps.
Yeah.
This may be a general question about syncing. I'm concerned about syncing because I'm often in a place where I actually don't have access to the web. And so syncing to me means that if I put something on this computer and it syncs to the cloud, and then I open up another computer that happens at that time to be linked to the cloud, then it will actually sync and download it to that computer also. Is it actually downloaded, or is it only synced, meaning it's on the cloud and wherever you originally had it, and then you can access
It
it?
doesn't really sit on your computer. It just goes back to
Getting it from a different
Well, I've got stuff on Google Drive, and it's on both machines.
Yeah.
I can access it without the cloud on both machines. So it's synced. Synced there means it's actually on both machines and the cloud.
Mm-hmm.
Your app is on your machines, and then the data is in the cloud, if that helps.
No, it is on the machine here because I can see it without the cloud.
So if you
Without-
don't have internet access, you've already downloaded all those docs actually live on the computer.
Yeah, but I didn't download them. They got there automatically by syncing. And that's what I understand syncing
Yeah.
to mean.
Well, okay. Yeah, and some of the cloud like storage that we're going to talk about in a second that is one of the advantages of the cloud piece is that your data lives on your computer as well as in a cloud, and everything gets synced up all the time. So I'm not quite sure where I was going with that, but anyway.
I guess you
Okay.
have to choose what you want, because you might not want all those physically. You might not have the room for it, especially on a tablet or something.
Yeah, and Evernote does, I think, kind of a hybrid version where it keeps the headers or the titles of things and some information. It doesn't keep your whole 40 gigabytes worth of Evernote data on there.
Just to add to your Evernote thing, with the technology industries competing with each other, like you have Microsoft and its world, Google with its world, and then Android over here, and then Apple over here, they're all being competitors competing for markets. The thing that you have to watch, that I find I have to watch for, is the developer who's attached to those things, because they'll have very similar names. They'll have almost identical logos, but you'll look and say, it's not made by OneNote, it's made by like some, company that you've never heard of, because it's a knockoff, and you're not really getting the true one. So I'm wondering if that maybe is possibly the thing, because some apps you can't, that's what made me, I was down to one app when I switched devices to Android, but not all the apps are on every single thing. And I downloaded the wrong I was like, this is not the app, this is not the developer, and I looked in the details of who made it, and it was a total knockoff. And eventually they get caught and shut down because they're so close. It's stealing proprietary information, but it would be something to look at, because I just did it last week.
It's not like Android marketplace
Yeah.
where it's more universal. It's specific to them, so someone actually has to go in and help rewrite that
Yeah.
app for them. So it may or may not be the original publisher. It's kind of their version of it.
Mhm.
That's why.
It seems like the Microsoft
Watch out.
piece is pretty new, so they're still probably trying to catch up with getting their official Microsoft stuff out, or robust versions of it. So, so any of these things too, if you have any questions down the road, we're happy to walk you through it or demo any of these for you. File this, similar in that it ties to Evernote, but it's kind of a cool thing where it automatically, or you have to tell it to do it, but you scan receipts, you scan documents, whatever it might be, and it's sophisticated enough to figure out what folder to put it in, and it puts it in Evernote or puts it in any of your other favorite places to store files. So instead of you having to say, yeah, this is a receipt, this goes here, and this is a legal document, it goes here, file this figures those things out automatically, so you don't have to worry about it. So just maybe kind of a time saver, a great way to save all your business receipts and have them in one place when it's time to do your taxes, that kind of thing.
You just scan them.
Yeah, and you can even take pictures with your phone of a receipt, and it will automatically do its magic and get it on there. So.
Is there an advantage to using that over one of the drives, Google Drive or the Microsoft SkyDrive or something?
Yeah, I think the key benefit is this automatically puts it in the right place, and like Evernote or SkyDrive or any of those, they probably just put it in the inbox and then you have to move it. So it takes a little of the work out of it for you.
It's kind of like it automatically organizes things by the type of document.
Yeah, and it works with all those things. So Google Drive or whatever it might be.
Yeah, it's sort of like a sorter, so it would sit, you know, it would be in between whatever your work platform is and maybe Evernote, and then it would figure out, okay, this goes here on Evernote.
And do you know the difference between like a free $2, $5 plan?
More features.
Yeah.
More features.
And probably more.
And more users.
Yeah, and more data, more receipts. So if you had 500 receipts, you might get limited to only 5 receipts. So if you pay the $5 or whatever, you can do your 500 or whatever it might be. So kind of also tied to that then is the storage platform. So we've talked about like the Microsoft's OneDrive. It's changed names several times. Google Drive, Dropbox, and Box. These are all places that are built for storing lots of your data in the cloud, so it's safe, secure. And we'll just show you a quick little video on Box, which is just one of the good ones out there.
Business today is different. More than ever before, we work in teams that are spread out across the globe. Unfortunately, our current means of sharing information are inadequate or overly complex. Email? Hard to keep track of all those versions and file sizes. SharePoint? Too complicated for even the simplest tasks. FTP? Too limited for any meaningful collaboration. Wouldn't it be great if there was a simpler way to collaborate that grows with your business? Introducing Box. With Box, collaboration is simple. Box consolidates your content online in a single, easy-to-organize location. You can securely create and share files and folders and continue to build upon them as a team. You can put your whole file system on Box and access everything securely from anywhere, on any device. Share a file with a simple link, or invite people to share a whole folder of files. You can add comments, share bookmarks, create simple documents, and easily manage document workflow with tasks. Upgrade to Box Business and you can view previous versions of a document, customize the Box interface, search the content of your documents, and get activity reports and manage users through an admin console. Box. Sharing should be simple. Sign up for a free trial and see for yourself at www.box.com.
Cool. So Rick is going to tell you about some back office tools.
Looks like we have a fly who's interested in the presentation too. I'll just mention that Box is really, and those other tools like that were up there from Microsoft, et cetera, are really nice if you have a lot of data that you're trying to pass around. So if you have a big PowerPoint or something like that, sometimes email doesn't let you send it because the file's too big. So that's a very simple, basic application for Box, but it does all those other cool things that you saw in the video too, where you can really work as an organization and keep everybody's work in the same place, but organized. So now we're going to talk about some of those business functions that would be nice to have some support on. And we're going to look at accounting. Eric had mentioned that earlier. An HR tool, and also a website that lets you hire temporary or project-based people. So FreshBooks is one of the top-rated accounting tools, and it is free to use. They do have upgrades if you need more features and have more people that would be using it. But there is a starter version of this that is you could try, and if it works for you, that's really good. It is probably the top-rated one. It was originally designed for service-based companies, and it lets you do a bunch of different things. We have a little video where they explain how it works on their website.
Right now, you're looking at someone who's happy. Someone taking on new creative projects. And tracking time for the brainstorming sessions no one ever counts. and working wherever creativity frolics freely. And logging the important expenses needed to get the job done. If tracking time, managing projects, and logging expenses isn't your idea of happy, it might be a good time to visit the land of FreshBooks. FreshBooks is a wondrous place in the cloud that's with you wherever you are, on all your devices. It's a place 5 million people have already discovered. A place built just for you, so you can get more things done in a lot less time and focus on the work you love. And it's a place without worry, where all your important stuff is automatically backed up for you because it's saved to the cloud. And where friendly help is just a phone call away whenever you need it. It is, in fact, a place worth singing about.
FreshBooks, what a marvelous parade. Look around you, time has found you, all your invoices are paid. FreshBooks, cloud accounting made for you. Now that paperwork's so easy, all your dreams are coming true. FreshBooks. FreshBooks.
And now for the best part, tying a bow on a job well done by quickly sending an invoice right at the client's office. Oh, did I say best? FreshBooks lets your clients pay you online, so you get paid faster. Looks like this round is on you.
That's going into a little bit more. The next, so we won't take a lot of time with that, but hopefully that gives you an idea that it's, basic accounting. And these next few slides are screenshots from FreshBooks, so you can kind of see what it does. This is an overview slide, and you can see that it graphs your invoices and expenses there. It's a month-by-month graph, so you can kind of track how that's going. Shows you where your outstanding invoices are, how big that number is, and then how old some of those are. Lets you know, what you're spending your money, operating budget on, and then finally it tracks projects. So that's the overview module. And then the next one is the expense module. So as you can see here, it lets you bring in files from other places, and you can link your bank accounts to it, so that's handy. And you can see it's real simple. You just click on that green bar to put a new expense in. So here is an example of the timesheet functionality. You can see the big clock there. You can actually start this when you're working on a project. So like a CPA or an attorney might bill by the hour, so you can keep track of the work that you're putting into a project there. You can see there's a simple timesheet. You can also organize it by projects, by tasks, and it can even generate an invoice from this page. So that's kind of cool. And then here's the invoice module. You can see that it organizes invoices by those that are recurring, those that are received, by payments going out. It allows you to, it categorizes your invoices, so it tells you what the status is there. And again, there's a simple green bar to push to create a new invoice. So we're back to one of the Zoho apps again. This is an HR one, and it's called Zoho People. So it helps you with your record keeping on your employees. And one of the nice advantages of this is it actually empowers the employees to access their own data, so they can keep their information current, and that saves the business owner from having to do all of that work. They also can do things like submit a request for vacation time or that kind of thing from this tool. So it does kind of take some of the maintenance and administration out away from the business owner. And you can see in the red box there, it's a little hard to see, but it has a number of different things that it does. It can actually create forms for you. It can handle your administration of HR. It can automate some of your HR processes. It can keep track of those sensitive personnel files. It can manage time off, etc. So it does a lot of different things.
Running a successful business may also mean increasing the number of employees and managing all your HR information and benefit programs. Having to manage every single employee's record can get tedious and time-consuming. What you really need is a single tool that can help you manage your entire HR process from one central location. That's why we built Zoho People, your one-stop online solution for human resource information systems. Zoho People's powerful self-service portal provides your employees access to their own records, helping you keep information accurate and up to date all the time. With easy customization, you can reinforce the look and feel of your HR portal, ensure secure data access, and define your organizational chart. Additionally, the time tracking module helps you keep your employees' progress up to date, along with custom absence type definitions and attendance reports of employees. That's not all. With Zoho People's email alerts, approvals, and checklists, you can automate your entire HR process, reducing administrative costs and saving valuable time.
We're going to talk a little bit about finding finding help outside of your permanent employees here. And the reason we thought this was worth showing to you is because there is quite a bit of attention being paid to the freelance world. And a lot of that is due to the fact that with the recession, so many full-time jobs have gone away, so that people are entering into the freelance market. And a lot of jobs that used to be part of a company have gone away, but the company still needs to get that work done, so they're turning to the freelance market. And right now, I think the estimate is that between 20 and 33% of the workforce in the U.S. is freelance. And they think that by 2020, it's going to be up to 50%.
How much?
50.
They don't want to pay benefits.
Well, the world is changing, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, that's why, these people that are against Obamacare really shouldn't be, because that's what people need is survive for healthcare. It's not going to get
More flexibility. Yeah. So there were two big sites that would list people that were available to do freelance work. One is Odesk, the other is Elance. And as you can see by the headline that just was published last week in the Washington Post, they've merged. So now there's one big site, and they haven't quite sorted out. Both sites are still up on the internet, and they haven't quite sorted out, if they're going to keep them separate or if they're going to combine them. But these are the two. And Eric, if you wouldn't mind opening up the site. I thought it might be interesting for you just to see all the different types of people that you can find. And the business model for this is that the freelancers will list themselves, and then Odesk and Elance will take 10% of whatever they earn from the business. And I think right now I've got the numbers here, 2 million businesses participate on these two sites, and there are about 5 million registered freelancers. Yeah, if you wouldn't mind clicking that. So this is a pretty easy to use site. You can browse by the category. So these are all the different skill sets. And Eric, if you want to click on just any one of those, one of the blue ones, it brings up profiles, so you can read about the individuals. And if you want to hire one of them, they're all rated. You can see they've got ratings. Then you click on their name, and you can start working with them to bring them on board. So it's a pretty easy way to get work done if you don't have the employee skill set already in your business.
And if it's hard to see, there's an hourly rate that is stated on there, so you can kind of find who has the greatest stars for the hourly rate that you want to spend. as well.
So there are lots and lots of different software applications, many more, we haven't even dipped our toe in the water really. So this is a website that, in case there are some things that you would wonder if there might be software out there to help you, this is G2 Crowd is a website that it's a crowd-sourced website, so IT people and business people are putting reviews of different software onto this site. And it's pretty nice. If you don't mind opening it up, Eric. This is what it looks like. There are a bazillion different categories for any business function you can think of. And you can see that it rates all the different software packages that are available for, I shouldn't say all, but many software packages that are available for a particular business function. And then if you click on one of those, then it gives you more detail. So you can see that it gives it a rating. Yeah, 4 stars. You can request a demo. There was, Eric, if you go back to the category listing and go to the document management area, and then, which is under content management, sorry. We can see what they said about Evernote just for kicks. So if you click on Evernote, which is the top rated one, they put them in order by those that get the best reviews. So this gets 4.5 stars, and then if you click on the product profile tab there, it gives you more information about Evernote, company information, product information, etc. It tells you whether they have mobile applications. And then it even shows you their LinkedIn page and all kinds of good stuff. And if you click on the Q&A, this is where, since this is like a crowdsourced site, people who have questions about Evernote would post a question and maybe get an answer back and forth. So it's a pretty rich site and a good place to go if you're wondering if there's a tool for something that you need.
Okay. So we're running out of time, so we're going to go through these pretty quick. But a couple tools to help the bottom line just talk about. So one, Tony, I think you made reference to it, is MailChimp. So it's email marketing software. So instead of you just trying to send out 10 emails at a time, you can have a list of 2,000 or 10,000 people that you can send an email to. MailChimp's great because it's basically free. It allows you to make really pretty emails that get sent out with pictures and that kind of thing. So we'll just quickly show a video of how one company uses it. And this company's claim to fame is they're 1% fashion, 99% fiction. So it's kind of a fun little company too.
And I quote myself, "We try to create things around here that are fashion forwardable," which is uniquely connected email. But the objective always been to make it just stupid enough that someone would want to forward it to a friend. I'll see if I can do that. We try to create things around here that are uniquely fashion forwardable. Betabrand is an online clothing company. We're based in San Francisco. We design, manufacture, and release 3 to 5 new products a week. Products you may have heard of like quarter-rounds, dress pants, sweatpants, disco pants, executive pinstripe hoodies, and we use MailChimp to spread the word of every new product we put out when it comes out. My relationship with email marketing began as a stalling tactic. When I launched the early version of Betabrand, which was called quarterrounds.com, were covered in the New York Times about 2 weeks after the business went live, and by live it meant me putting up a website and having some pants in my basement. And the demand was outrageous, and I sold about 1,000 more pants than I actually had. I had about a 2 to 3 month delay before I could even fulfill many of the orders that came in. And what I did is I started sending emails out to people, and I tried to make them as funny as possible to keep people on the hook. And as it turned out, it had to go a lot longer than I expected. By sending off these sort of weekly jokes to people about the pants that they're going to get, by the time the pair of pants finally arrived, people could lead conversations at dinner parties about the pants that they own using the jokes we wrote, which created the editorial mission for Betabrand, which was 99% fiction, 1% fashion. People want to read interesting things, and it was our duty to give people new jokes about the pants that they owned, which made them more likely to open the newsletters, which has given us newsletter open rates that range between 35% and 40%. The magician, the true magician of our newsletters also comes from Atlanta, like MailChimp. His name's Anthony. As I like to imagine it, is always on the porch of his house with his dogs working on our newsletters. We really treat our business like we're publishing a magazine twice a week, and the objective is to make it as editorially interesting as possible. But really, truly more editorially interesting than just simply how do you drive a purchase off of this. The assumption is that not everybody wants to shop every single time they get a newsletter, but if we make it entertaining enough, they may consider it. We've found that in order to have one, you gotta have the other. And so we have higher open rates because people suspect that they might be entertained. I mean, we hope it works that way, forever.
So that's kind of a fun, different way of doing a video. And probably a good model for marketing too, is making their content really engaging too. So kind of beside the fact, but if anyone needs to go too, feel free to head out. But the next one, a lot of you probably have heard of it, and this is more just kind of the hip thing in business marketing, and the fastest growing is Instagram. So a little phone app where you take pictures, and similar to Twitter where people start following you, and a lot of brands are using Instagram to kind of get the message out in kind of a fun, unique way. So just something to keep in mind. And Quirky is another one. Has everybody heard of crowdfunding, where companies put out an idea and they have people donating money to try to get it started? You may have. In any case, Quirky is kind of one for inventors. So we'll just quickly show you that if you have a great idea that you want to get started.
3 brand new consumer products every single week. It seems impossible. But what makes it possible is a very special meeting that occurs right here every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Our staff, our friends, our family, industry experts, retailers discuss and debate what the top ideas were that were submitted to our platform over the course of the past few weeks and months. We debate them in a very simple format. Quirky's invention ambassadors describe the problem the inventor had. We then hear from our panel of experts who speak on topics of retailability and design potential. We then hear from the community. The community tells us what they like and what they don't like in real time. They help us price out each idea. At the end of the debate, it comes down to something very simple, a good old-fashioned hand vote. If over half of the team's hands go up in the air, it doesn't matter the reality or the complexity or the intricacies of making that consumer product real, because the world has said they want it. It's up to us, Quirky, to figure out how to do it. Because if it passes eval, that means that the world wants this thing, and we're going to deliver it.
So the interesting thing about Quirky, and the reason we thought you might enjoy seeing this website, is that if, as business people, a lot of you are pretty entrepreneurial minded, and Quirky doesn't require anything more than a business idea written on a piece of paper or a sketch of some kind of a product or whatever. So if any of you are thinking about something that you would like to see in the marketplace, if you have what you think is a good idea, you can submit it to Quirky, and they're backed by big companies like General Electric and so forth, but it's all free to do, and as you saw in the video, every week, 2 times a week, they vote on the ideas that they get, and those that get 50% and up yes vote, they actually then start to develop. So they'll do a prototype, and then they'll put it out on the market. And I don't know, Eric, can you get to the website? I don't know if we have that linked or not. That's a really great question. I'm not sure how that part works. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's true. But they're mostly consumer products that are on here, but they're all pretty ingenious and interesting. So they have things. This happens to be a portable air conditioner. That's their latest one. And that's the inventor there. So they have products for the home, garden, IT products, tech products, all kinds of things, and just might be kind of fun to track this one. Well, we couldn't let you go without, for those of you that may not know, we really appreciate those kind words that some of you shared when you were introducing yourselves about working with your businesses, but we really love to do that. That's why we're here. And there are some things that we routinely do that we thought would be worth reviewing with you. So we kind of operate on the 80-20 rule here, whereas we like to identify the 20% of whatever the issue is that brings 80% of the reward. So when we sit down to meet with you, we're going to be looking for where that is. And these things that are listed here fall into the big impact, the 20% that get you the 80% results. And this is from 25 plus years of working with businesses. So our department, not me personally, but. Niche identification means that understanding what your business does differently or better than any of your competitors in the marketplace. So making sure that that's really solid, and because a lot of, particularly with startup companies, they often are so excited to get in business that that's something that they kind of forget about. So it's good to be able to tell your story and why you're the best, and to know why you do what you do. Also, it's really important to understand who your ideal customer is, because once that is known, then you can start to go after that ideal customer, and obviously that's going to be the customer that brings you the most money. So, and then watering holes has to do with where it is your ideal customer congregates. So are they all on one particular website? Do they all attend a particular social function? Wherever that might be, we try to suss that out. And then once you know your ideal customer, then you can start to understand how they communicate. And then you can be on the same communication channels when you're marketing. And then finally, if you have information needs that would really be helpful to your business. For example, one thing that Eric does is he'll take a customer list and he'll map your customers so you can see where they're located. We did kind of an interesting one for Jennifer's company where we identified where the best place to put a salesperson might be based on the sales potential in the country. So that kind of information we can get for you. Oh, this is yours.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Well, we just do a whole host of marketing support. So probably most of you are aware. So business lists, we can help with any social media strategies, or I can review your website for search engine optimization, just making it as good as it can for Google and the other search engines. The other piece is customer data. So if you have a list of your customers, like Rick has said, we can map them and see what the demographics are, where they cluster up. We can see how much people spend on any particular good or service in any particular area. We can tell you this area is much better than other areas for marketing purposes. And then psychographics, just what are the lifestyles of people within certain areas? Are they people that like to attend sporting events? Are they people like to go to bookstores? We have the data that tells us this type of information.
We also have access to some pretty high-level experts in business research. So the report here that says Gaiam, that's a company in Boulder, but that's a profile of their business. You can see it includes a credit rating. So as long as you're interested in another business outside the city limits, we can run a competitor report like this for you and help you understand, what might be going on with a competitor. The one in front there is from Forrester Research. I don't know if any of you have heard of Forrester, but they have very they have experts, particularly in marketing. So they they call them analysts, and their analysts are out there researching kind of what's going on in the marketplace all the time, and then they'll put together these reports which kind of describe, kind of what the business landscape looks like. And so it's a real good way to kind of get ahead of the curve in terms of spotting trends and so forth that can help you stay competitive. So we have access to that data. And then the one underneath that says products and markets, that's an industry report, happens to be on bicycle repair shops. So it's a multi-page report, but this particular page shows where bicycle repair shops are concentrated around the country, and you can see Colorado is one of the states. So that kind of information is also available to you, and you don't have to know where it comes from, you just have to ask the questions. So we'll try to find the information. We also have a couple of ways that we work to keep business, community news about businesses. So we have a fairly new website called GoToLittleton.com, and you can see one of the tabs there is the business directory. So you can check that when you have a moment, and if you'd like your business listed and it's not there, just let us know and we'll get you in the directory. It also has a news section, and you can just explore that when you have a moment. And are most of you on our email distribution list? So Economic Notes is published monthly, and if you're not on it and are interested, let us know, we'll get you on the list.